And welcome back, fam bam, to another installment of Metaphysics on Your Mind. Last video, we were on Little Child Part 2, and we did we did the little musical meditation where we were touching base, reconnecting with our 7-year-old inner self. Be interesting to know how, for those who maybe decided to do a little meditation, be interesting to know how that wound out for you. But the point of it was, we've learned how important in our childhood development. We talked about the operating system of the subconscious mind being formed by age 7, and then at roughly age 7, the conscious mind begins to do its thing of development and further sophistication. But the primary takeaway was that supremely foundational subconscious mind formation from 0 to 7. Again, if there was any kind of extraordinary issue or trauma, how much of an effect it could potentially have in our lives, on down the line, right? So I thought we would also, go into another verse, Proverbs 22:1 and Proverbs 22:6. It's just kind of a tie into this because I know, and many of us know, that many of us are still holding on to things from the past, from our childhood, from the past. Whether, it doesn't have to even go all the way back to age 7, or it could go back before age 7. And the trick is we learn from the past. We can put things in perspective when looking back at the past, but we can't live in the past, right? We are in the here and now, and we're trying to gain traction in understanding what our life's journey is all about. But we know that foundational first, that first phase, those first roughly 7 years, played a huge part in the way that our lives have unfolded in the intervening period of time. So let's read this verse. It's 2 verses, actually. So the first one is Proverbs 22:1. A good name is rather to be chosen than great riches, and loving favor rather than silver and gold. And then 22:6. Train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it. So just to kind of summarize 22:1, you'd like to think that we all want to have a good name amongst our peers, our family, our friends, our lovers, whatever. We all want to have that good name. Because as the scripture says, a good name is rather to be chosen than great riches. And loving favor, okay? Having loving favor rather than silver and gold. So if we want to have that good name, there's an implication that to have a good name, you do good things, good things for people, good things for yourself, good things for the world at large or the environment. You do good things, right? And the value system that we develop from the time that we're a child into our adult years, our value system to a great degree is going to be the result of those first foundational years, right? That's going to be kind of imprinted upon us. The environment that we're in, the household that we're in, the people that we're around are going to go a good distance in us formulating an image of who we think we are when we're young. And as a result of who we think we are, our lives in great part will unfold based upon our overall feelings about ourselves, right? If you value yourself, there's certain things that you don't engage in or you won't do. When you don't have as much value, you throw more caution to the wind, right? It's kind of common sense to a degree. So if we want the child, whether it be ourselves or our own children or grandchildren or future children, or that inner child within us, right? If we want that child to have a good name, meaning that we respect ourselves, right? Because you're not going to have a good name if you don't have self-respect. Because what's the point of a good name when you don't have self-respect or self-worth or self-love, right? It's incongruous. So if we want that child to value having a good name, having a good relation with the world around them to the degree that we can without compromising ourselves. And we have to remember that if this verse 22:6 is saying that the way that the child is, the road the child is led down early on, they won't depart from that. So in other words, it works both ways. You teach a child the way it should go, they won't depart from it, that mode in older age. Well, the reverse is also true. If you misteach a child or mistreat a child, right, then they don't depart from that either, right? Unless there's, again, an intervention or I just thought it was interesting, too, that when we pick 7 years old, we know that 7 is a number of divine intervention, right? We talked about all the 7 seals and the 7 chakras, and all of that. But all of this is to say that once we become conscious that we are truly the co-creators of our lives, then it is our obligation to ourselves that if this little child within us never needed healing and hasn't been healed, then once we become conscious of that, we're the responsible party. We then take steps, right, to do what needs to be done. Because it's really never too late if you can become aware, right? And what meditation is demonstrating to you is that you can increase your awareness, right? Without judgment, without identifiers, without naming, you can be aware and increase your capacity for awareness. Because, ultimately it's more or less infinite as a child of God, which is infinite. The capacity is there to have that same quality as God. You just can't have that quantity of God. There's a distinction there. You're an aspect of the whole. You aren't the whole. So the child who becomes an adult and becomes shall we say, either attracted or stumbles upon even though there's no such thing as a coincidence, this kind of material, like what we're going over, right? Once you've been made aware, however it comes, okay, whatever format it comes, whatever vehicle it comes, once you've been made aware of the capacity that you have, then you become responsible. And meditation is teaching you that, hey, when you go within, you are exercising your spiritual anatomy. You are becoming more aware and stronger in your ability to separate yourself from, quote unquote, your lower self, right? At least for a time. So you are gaining confidence that you have more and more of a capacity to influence how your life goes than maybe what you had previously thought. So going into meditation, it's not that it's, there's going to be a miracle when you come out, vis-a-vis your immediate problems. It's that you're opening up your awareness to the universe, to God, to the Most High. You are opening up a channel where you can then receive transmissions or downloads that will become conduits that you will connect to with these synchronicities through your life. You will begin to see things that you hadn't quite noticed before and be able to connect them to your direct experience. Because remember, we're all unique. So no one's synchronistic moments that you kind of begin to notice more and more are necessarily going to be the same as they would be for somebody else, because they're for you. That's your communication with the divine. The divine is uniquely communicating with you. It's not a one size fits all, see? So as the ancient Egyptians said about know thyself, that was important, because if you want to know God, you must first know yourself, right? Because that self is then going to have a relationship with God. Why? Because that inner self, that soul person, right? That spirit person is connected to the divine. The flesh person is not. Remember, we read scriptures that said that, the flesh was enmity, the carnal mind, actually. The carnal mind, or the flesh, was enmity to God, right? And was not subject to the law of God. So the idea that there are people out here that are better than other people and this one's good, that's baloney, right? In the flesh, within the physical, there are just certain things that we are prone to do because that's what flesh does. So we just have to be a little bit gentler with ourselves and understand that we are of two natures. And the idea of being a disciple isn't following somebody around all over the continent to become, a devoted. It's disciplining the mind. That's what this is about. Discipline. To be a disciple, to become an apostle, you have to first become a disciple. You have to first become disciplined. And then you can be stationed to a post, an apostle, right? That's what this is. It's about you discovering and me discovering how much we do have control of how we use our minds, right? Our thoughts and our emotions, and how to discipline the ego and the mind to work more for us, right? And, you being on top of the horse instead of the horse being on top of you. That's what this is all about. And I just thought it was an interesting connection that the way our lives may have been doesn't have to be the way our lives have to be when we're conscious of how the dots connect. So anyway, once again, we want to thank everybody it takes a lot of courage. It's going to be straight out about it. For some people, not for everyone, depending upon, what your background is, but it takes courage to be able to, whether you agree or disagree, to show respect and listen to something that could be an alternative way of seeing things that you may or may not agree with, or you may or may not vibe with. But it takes courage for people to say, hey, I'm going to reserve judgment on this. I'm going to take a listen. And then I'll be able to put it in some kind of a perspective for myself. And, instead of it being a knee-jerk response that, hey, this is contrary to what I've been taught, or contrary to what I believe, or what my family believes, or what look, we're trying to move forward. We're in the age of revelation. We're in the age of Aquarius. We're in the age of the revealing. We're in the age of an energy change so profound. Nothing like it has probably happened in, I'm just going to say 12, 13,000 years. And we'll go over, again, we can go back over what we went through many, many videos about the precession of the equinoxes, that 26,000 year cycle. But where we are now is we're in a change of energy. And this is an opportunity that, we propose that those of us who are able to kind of gather ourselves and be responsible for ourselves and be responsible for how we can raise our vibration ourselves, that the power is not outside of us, it's within us. Show them, T. Raise the vibration. Right on. So once again, we're so grateful for those of you who have kind of hung with us and just, you hear us out. And we really appreciate that, because it's all about an exchange. And we're here, you're here, I propose, Tony proposes, and there are many others that propose. Absolutely. That we are here to teach each other, right? And to help each other elevate if we so choose. We have the power of choice, so you clearly don't have to. But the opportunity is there that we can choose to elevate each other rather than destroy each other. Peace.
Peace.